5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five.
The way forward opens,
2,
and your
1.
fate entwines with mine. Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
By the way, guys, we're going to do a couple of keys before we gather for the raid. The raid is going to be in an hour. So, yeah, just enjoy a couple more keys. This is actually my first key for Season 2.
Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control. Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
Can I actually have a table? Yep, drinking.
Do not let it make a meal out of you. Mortals.
It's this power.
After any shred of control. It's gaining power. Watch out for its venom. Brace yourself. It's gaining power. Mortals. Scrabbling after any shred of control. Watch out for its venom. Brace yourself.
Yeah, these next packs are also nasty.
Mortals. Scrabbling after any shred of control. Mortals. Scrabbling after any shred of control. The goddess stands with us. one. One. The beast finally met its match. All of you, feed on the void. Let its darkness fill you. Scrabbling after any shred of control.
Do you still get the percentages if you skip the group on the life? On the left?
Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
There's one pack before the last boss, yeah. I dispelled that.
Mortals, scrabbling after any shred of control.
You think you can stop me? I'd like to see you try. Ulatek's power is nearly at hand. You won't stop me. I will cut you down.
Yes. Feed. All of you. Feed on the void. Let it
Leave before the fight. Amari blades cut deep. Don't you see? Ulatek's spine. It is the key to our future. I will cut you down.
all of you. Feed on the void. Let its darkness
8
fill
stacks, oh my god. Yeah, I know.
It'll save their money. It'll save us all.
That's funny. 0.24%.
You won't be so lucky next time.
Oh. Yippee! Just got an item. Let's go. I literally just bought an enchant for my chest piece. That was, I believe, about 3k gold, and now I just got an upgrade. Funny, right? Funny it is. Alright, let me check the quality on YouTube. Should be 2k. Actually, pretty neat. Very nice quality. Alright, the raid is in an hour, ladies and gentlemen. So, I kinda... Let me see how much money the new enchant is. Alrighty. I put some gold in the vault and buy the new enchant. Got that hero item, and I roughly have an hour to get ready, basically. Which I will spend watching a video on the raid, pretty much. Let me see. How's the stream? The stream is actually, I'm surprised. This is somewhat of a test stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is me testing streaming 2K quality to YouTube. And so far it's really smooth, very nice quality. And it only is a 1%, 2% load on my CPU, which is amazing. Very nice. Alright, do I have any gold here? No, I need to find some gold on one of my characters. But yeah. The team seems very optimistic. That means that everybody thinks that we will do fantastic and that we will do a lot of... that we actually might clear the first normal raid super quickly. So they're optimistic and they think that we might even get to heroic. Fingers crossed. I don't know if that's going to be the case, obviously. I don't know what to expect because I haven't been raiding in so long. So yeah. Alright, let me find a bank over here.
Are you planning a purchase?
Return when you need more.
Do, 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 do. Also, the idea on gearing is, so we do the raid today, and if we get lucky, we get some items. I'm not gonna use any of my catalysts, which means, yeah, if I get lucky, I'll get some set items. If not, I'll just use a catalyst or whatever. All right, boom, 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 boom. 305. This chess piece is 3 out of 6, the one that I currently have. Does that mean I should upgrade it?
My goods are one of a
All right,
kind.
let me see. Let me get that 50k. Dude, I spent like 40k on enchants and stuff. Also, by the way, the stream is gonna be with no comms. Let me see now. I do have a bunch of these champion crests. The thing is, in order, if I spend 20 crests, does that mean that my next upgrade is going to be for free?
This world is vast and wondrous.
No, right? Hero crests.
Go carefully.
Let me actually leave Discord for now.
There is much to be
I wonder how should I proceed with this, or should I just leave everything as it is right now? The one thing that I am thinking about was to eventually upgrade my weapon, but my weapon is not best in slot. I could do my boots eventually. Boots are with good stats. I could do them. Or maybe I should just upgrade my chest piece. The thing is, I don't really want to touch my chest piece until I see if I will get any kind of drops from the raid. But even if I get any drops from the raid, I don't know if this is gonna be a problem or not, no? So I don't know, folks. I don't know. Two and four, 1 and 2. All right, so hear me out. I buy an enchant. I buy an enchant. What do I need to buy? Mark of the Magister. I slam it over here. Mark of the Magister. Damn. I just literally wasted earlier some like 3k gold on this enchant. Put it over here on this chest piece. Right? And then what I will do is I will upgrade this. Dude. Did I do that? I was thinking, all right, so this is what I was thinking. My boots, I can do my boots 4 out of 6, right? Because these are good stats. I need crit and inverse. I could do my boots. Or I could do my back piece is solid as well. But this is a hero back piece. So I don't really want to touch that. You know what? I'm gonna just I'm going to spend only a little bit. And the rest, oh, this is veteran. I can max this out. Nice. I didn't know that.
Until next time.
You learn something new. These are champion. I could do. Nah, helmet doesn't feel right. I think like I will do my boots. All right. No more investments. All I need to do right now, and I'm then completely ready for the raid, is I do need to buy potions. So let's see, what do we need? Consumables, potions, concentrate, silver moon. Dang. 400 gold for just one pop. Damn. All right, let's buy 10 of these because I'll need them for heroic. And then did I buy? I did buy mana potions. Let me get some more. 5 more mana potions. By the way, every time I have to buy consumables like this, I always wish like I would be able to craft them myself and not be needing to buy them. It always feels like these guys are making a ton of money. All right. I do have my flasks. Let's buy 5 of these. Now I need to buy food. Where is the food? Food. Silver Moon Parade. Royal Roast. What's the difference between them? There is no difference, right? Bro, one of them, it says vegetarian. Man, these RP people are like... I'm looking if there's any difference in the freaking like stats. The only difference is one of them is vegetarian. Oh my god, that's funny. All right. All right, 10 of these. Royal Roast. And then let's see what else we need. We need tea. All right. Give me all the goodies. I will put this over here. My mana potion. All right. Now I need to do some changes over here. And also before that, talents. Let me get a Riptide talent tree over here for not Riptide, I mean Totemic Raid. This is recommending me play with Ascendance for the raid. Let me see. Let me check out the talents real quick. No Unleash Live. Ascendance. Alright. Also, guys, by the way, I'm doing last preparations here. Okay. Have this sorted out. Gonna be going with this. Put the foods down over here on the side. Gotta check my macros. Alright, we should be good. We should be good. No big changes over here, so I think I'm fine. I'm not gonna be playing with Unleash Live. Okay. Alright, it's time to look at a couple boss fights. So, let's go one by one. Oh yeah, first of all, wait, before I forget, I do need to do one small adjustment. Let's put this over here, boss frame a little bit to the side. This I don't need. My buffs are going all the way up because I will not need them right now. And I'll put my raid frames over here in the middle. Change my cast bar up here. All right. And I think that's it. That's the change I want to do. Let me just double check. Seems fine, right? Yeah. Okay. The Venomous Abyss. Let's watch Mr. Automatic Jack. He has an interesting video.
But also has high difficulty on Heroic and on Mythic. On Heroic difficulty, the fight will start with the Ice Blade Flurry, which is going to be a 6-second channel from the boss, slashing the tank 6 times and increasing their damage with every attack by 45%. On Mythic difficulty, this becomes a water jet, which is absolutely essential to be able to clear up any frozen patches on the ground, which are spawned by the boss casting Frost Barrage. This is going to target a number of players, chilling them and reducing their movement speed, while also spawning frost orbs onto the ground. Players must soak these frost orbs, and on heroic difficulty, they deal stacking damage to the person soaking them. On mythic difficulty, they deal raid-wide.
Wait a minute, this is the... Isn't that the freaking... That's the water boss, no? There you go. That's the first boss. I was like, hold on a minute, I've done this already.
Spawning a number of void zones that knock you back. If you stand in the pool in the middle of the room, you will take huge amounts of damage and give the boss more energy, which can feed into a hardened rage, increasing the boss's movement speed and increase their damage by 500.
By the way, he has his minimap over here on the bottom side. I was thinking the same thing the other day, if I should put my minimap over here, like almost in the middle of my screen. So maybe I should do that, actually. I think it's not a bad idea.
100%. After this first AoE, multiple players in the raid will get targeted by Essence Rend, this ghost spirit that'll start dragging players for a few seconds and then attach to them while knocking them back based on where the ghost is spawning from. You want to make sure you get knocked to the edges of the room, where then you can have Mass Dispel and Personal Dispels used to drop off these latent cultist void zones out on the edges. Tanks have two main mechanics in this phase: the Hollowing Strikes, which is going to reduce your healing and absorption effects received by 5% per stack, where tanks are usually swapping around 8 to 10 stacks. And then there's also Possession Barrage, which is going to deal drop-off damage when these souls make contact with the tank. Now, it's very important to make sure nobody else in the raid makes contact with them early, because it will deal more damage the closer that you are to the impact location. Periodically on the fight, Restless Amani will spawn on the edge of the room and attempt to make contact with the well in the middle. You want to make sure you're using grips, knockbacks to stack all of these enemies together, because on heroic difficulty, these corpses will linger on the ground and potentially be reawakened in the future if you do not burn them. Your raid should expect to make maybe 2 or 3 different piles in phase 1 of these Restless Amani ads, so you can later burn them in the intermission phase and destroy them. At 50%, Nexali will hide in the well itself, and Jawe will spawn, producing echoes of himself on the edges of the room, which are trying to cast these soul transfers. You'll need to make sure that you're focusing down these echoes, while also making sure you reposition the raid on top of these piles of Restless Amani that you have stacked up. That's because you'll want to have Jawe on top of the pile of ads that you've killed previously, because he'll cast a Hungering Pyre, which will split fire damage evenly between all the players that are soaking, and those who are not soaking are then going to be affected by Slithering Flame. Now, touching any of these corpses with the flame is going to cremate them and despawn them. So you'll want to have your melee stacked up for this pyre, and then your range spreading out in position to eradicate any remaining piles of Amani around the room. Keep in mind, breaking the shields on these zombies will also allow them to be tanked and stop fixating on the well. So breaking those shields as fast as you possibly can is only going to make life easier for you. You'll have 2 Echoes of Jawei to kill in this intermission, and 2 main rounds of the Hungering Pyre to be able to kill off as many of these ads as you possibly can. So ad control in phase 1 is a massive level of importance. When both Echoes are killed, Nexali will return and cast Uncoiling, pouring even more damage onto the raid and stacking up a permanent raid.
Hold on, I was distracted here for a second. I was looking at some. They sent like a document of like information on the people on the raid, which is interesting. I was looking at this. So here we go. You guys can take a look. This is our roster right now. There's some folks with no enchantments. I'm a good boy. I'm a good lad, and I did my enchantments. Okay, so I'm Gucci. Over here, the overall gear, equipped sockets. I'm not the worst in terms of gear, which is fine. I think the majority of our raid is gonna be above 285. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 people below 245. This is also not true. I did put my stuff over there. We have 2 Resto Shamans and 2 Priests. Our DPS, Shadow Priest, Mage, Druid, Priest, Hunter, Evoker. Wow, I just realized we do have a little bit more paladins than the average team, I would say. Holy moly. Out of 6 melee DPSs, 4 of them are red paladins. 1 warrior, 1 shaman, 1 druid, 1 DK tank. Interesting. Single view. That's all interesting, man. It's cool that they have stuff like this, right? They do have stuff like this. Let me see. All right.
Periodically on the fight, Restless Amani will spawn on the edge of the room and attempt to make contact with the well in the middle. You want to make sure you're using grips, knockbacks to stack all of these enemies together, because on heroic difficulty, these corpses will linger on the ground and potentially be reawakened in the future if you do not burn them. Your raid should expect to make maybe 2 or 3 different piles in phase 1 of these Restless Amani ads, so you can later burn them in the intermission phase and destroy them. At 50%, Nexali will hide in the well itself, and Jawei will spawn, producing echoes of himself on the edges of the room.
Dude, I have to rewatch this. This seems complicated.
This is Nexali the Soul Coiler. The encounter will begin with a Soul Coil ignition, pulsing large damage out onto the raid and spawning a number of void zones that knock you back. If you stand in the pool in the middle of the room, you will take huge amounts of damage and give the boss more energy, which can feed into a hardened raid.
How can you tell if the boss has more energy? Is there like anything that can tell you?
Increasing the boss's movement speed and increase their damage by 500%. After this first AoE, multiple players in the raid will get targeted by Essence Rend, this ghost spirit that'll start dragging players for a few seconds and then attach to them while knocking them back based on where the ghost is spawning from.
Okay, so when they have the Essence Rend debuff, they need to run away from the boss to the side and it needs to be dispelled. Okay.
You want to make sure you get knocked to the edges of the room, where then you can have mass dispel and personal dispels used to drop off these latent cultist void zones out on the edges. Tanks have 2 main mechanics in this phase: the Hollowing Strikes, which is going to reduce your healing and absorption effects received by 5% per stack, where tanks were usually swapping around 8 to 10 stacks. And then there's also Possession Barrage, which is going to deal drop-off damage when these souls make contact with the tank. Now, it's very important to make sure nobody else in the raid makes contact with them early, because it will deal more damage the closer that you are to the impact location. Periodically on the fight, Restless Amani will spawn on the edge of the room and attempt to make contact with the well in the middle. You want to make sure you're using grips, knockbacks to stack all of these enemies together, because on heroic difficulty, these corpses will linger on the ground and potentially be reawakened in the future if you do not burn them. Your raid should expect to make maybe 2 or 3 different
I don't know what he means by burn them. Like to the ground, kill them, like DPS wise.
piles in phase 1 of these Restless Amani ads, so you can later burn them in the intermission phase and destroy them. At 50%, Nexali will hide in the well itself, and Jawei will spawn, producing echoes of himself on the edges of the room, which are trying to cast these soul transfers. You'll need to make sure that you're focusing down these echoes, while also making sure you reposition the raid on top of these piles of Restless Amani that you have stacked up. That's because you'll want to have Jawei on top of the pile of ads that you've killed previously, because you'll cast a Hungering Pyre, which will split fire damage evenly between all the players that are soaking, and those who are not soaking are then...
By the way, guys, I think my biggest fear is going to be mana management in the raids, to be fair. I think that's going to be my biggest issue, because I'm somewhat okay managing my mana on a key, but on a raid I have no idea what to expect. And since it will be heavy chain heal most of the times, I do expect to run into mana issues.
Be affected by Slithering Flame. Now, touching any of these corpses with the flame is going to cremate them and despawn them. So you'll want to have your melee stacked up for this pyre, and then your range spreading out in position to eradicate any remaining piles of Amani around the room. Keep in mind, breaking the shields on these zombies will also allow them to be tanked and stop fixating on the well. So breaking those shields as fast as you possibly can is only going to make life easier for you. You'll have 2 Echoes of Jawei to kill in this intermission, and 2 main rounds of the Hungering Pyre to be able to kill off as many of these ads as you possibly can. So ad control in phase 1 is a massive level of importance. When both Echoes are killed, Nexali will return and cast Uncoiling, pouring even more damage onto the raid and stacking up a permanent raid-wide dot until the boss is killed. If she reaches maximum energy, again, she'll do 500%.
Maximum energy, how do you tell if she has energy at all? Where do you see that? Like, I don't see any indicator on his screen as well. Maximum energy, like, oh.
More damage, be immune to taunts, and move 150% faster. She will periodically spam invoke casts onto the raid, calling out those latent cultists that you're dropping at the edges of the room to start moving around a lot more rapidly. So making sure you drop them off at the edges and are ready to dodge them frequently is going to be very important at this point of the encounter. If you watch these latent cultist void zones, when the boss casts invoke, some of them will become empowered and immediately move more rapidly across the room, cutting down players nearby. Make sure you're keeping an eye on these cultists, because not all of them will empower and move rapidly on each invoke cast. The boss will continue to cast more Essence Rends for more dispels, dropping off the cultists on the edges of the room, and the possession barrages will only continue, and with high amounts of rot and ticking damage going out into the encounter, the damage at this point ramps up heavily. In this phase, you won't have any other opportunities.
So like 35-ish% is where the damage is going to be super heavy. And I somehow need to manage my mana up until this point.
To burn corpses for the Amani, so just make sure that you are getting them killed, especially making sure you pay particular attention to breaking the shields on these Amani.
We have, by the way, 20 minutes until the raid.
So that your tanks can then pick them up and keep them away from the well. The Entombed Sentinels is very similar to Cauldron of Carnage if you played in Liberation of Undermine, where you have 2 bosses that need to be killed equally, and both are stacking their own 40-yard and 40-second duration dot if you're standing near them. The Blood of Ulatek will start with a Blood Venom injection on your tanks, dealing increasing stacking levels of damage. You will swap bosses when they reach maximum energy, so expect around 3 to 4 stacks. On the blood side, you should be making sure you're soaking up any of these toxic droplet puddles as soon as you possibly can, and then get ready for the unstable miasma. This is going to be dropping off a puddle of blood and require everybody in your
unstable miasma. So if you get the unstable miasma, you run the fuck to the edge of the map. That's what I need to remember. I need to look for stuff that can potentially land on me, and I need to know how I should behave.
soak and
the rest of the time, most of the time, I just need to keep the team up.
After you have soaked this miasma on heroic difficulty, it's also going to leave behind a debuff called Clinging Murk. When this debuff fades, it's going to drop blood pools. So you'll want to make sure that you are on the edge of the room, stacked with your allies to maximize your space. Then on Mythic difficulty, Vashnik is going to cast the Shifting Proto-Venom. This is going to be debuffing random players around the room with a large circle, and if you're stepping onto a player that's not marked, you are going to knock them back and deal massive amounts of damage. All you need to do is make sure you're standing and clearing with one other player who also has that mark, while avoiding people who don't. While this is happening, keep an eye out, healers, for the Blighted Blood. This is just a magic debuff that goes out on
Okay, so they just need to touch the guys that are with their orange
allies.
circles.
Be ready to dispel them as soon as you possibly can. And then when the bosses reach max energy,
Upon reaching 100 energy, both sentinels rush together and they bounce to each other. Yeah,
they'll go into a vitriolic stasis. This is going to mark players with different levels of...
Okay, here is the difficult part of the boss, I think. So this, I watched this earlier. This is going to put either a 2-dot mark on somebody or a 3-dot mark, which divides the raid into 2 teams. And you kind of need to also touch with the opposite number. So if you're a 3, you need to touch with somebody who is a 2.
I find the easiest way to look at this is to just look at how many venomous orbs are on your character, and you want to stand on somebody else.
Oh, so it's not just 2 or 3, it's the venomous orbs as well.
Who is going to help you create a sum of 4. So in this clip, for example, I have 3 venomous stacks, and I want to find one player who has 1 venomous stack to combine with.
I see. A math problem. Now, can I count to 4?
If you have 2 venomous stacks, then you want to find somebody else with 2. If you have 1, you want to find somebody else with 3. But you want this.
Okay. This is not hard. This is not hard. You just need to have good positioning and coordination quickly.
Sum of your venom orbs to create 4. This debuff lasts 30 seconds, so you have a lot of time to be able to resolve this mechanic. And so it's very important to make sure you take your time, don't panic, and work to resolve it as soon as you can. Keep in mind, the bosses take 99% less damage during this period, and they restore health to the weaker of the sentinels. So you want to clear this as fast as you possibly can, and keep in mind that doing damage has no real extra value here. Failing one of your combines is going to activate a cultivated burst, dealing a massive amount of damage to that player, and a huge dot for the next minute. Once you completed the intermission, you'll have your tanks swap bosses and move back to your original sides. With the Breath of Ulatek is the boss sending out those toxic droplets we mentioned earlier, and on heroic difficulty, they're also going to have the added mechanic of having these orbs come back to the boss and crash into it. So it's very important, if you're on the Breath of Ulatek side, that you're opening a lane in the middle of the room is what we did, so that any of these toxic droplets from the blood side are going to be able to travel to the Breath of Ulatek without being intercepted by any players. Ideally, tanks should soak as many of these toxic droplets as they can, but DPS and healers should definitely use personals and use defensives around these points to help soak them quickly, especially when the Breath of Ulatek is spawning the venom.
Guys, I have a bad feeling about this already. Let's see how it goes.
Coagulation. This is some of the highest damage in this encounter, and it spawns an ad that's constantly radiating contaminate damage, and this is where healers are going to be cycling between their major cooldowns. The coagulation happens around every minute, and it can live for around 20 to 30 seconds depending on how much focus you have for your team. On higher level difficulties, you might just cleave this down more, whereas on normal heroic, you'll want to prio and kill it as fast as possible. The Breath of Ulatek also cast Empowering Slam onto the tank, dealing high amounts of physical damage and increasing his damage from subsequent attacks. Always be using the edges of the room to be able to drop any of your unstable miasma and multiple puddles. Make sure you're avoiding any of the toxic droplets from colliding with players, and make sure you're continuously moving away from any blood puddles. Vashnik has 3 different fountains around the room with a...
Alright, so this is another boss that seems complicated, but probably isn't so complicated. So the way I understood it, let's see if I understood it from my first watch earlier. So it has 3 different colors, like 3 different altars, and you need to, like, if you pull the boss to one of these altars, it will gain some kind of buffs or debuffs, some kind of additional skills. If you use the altar, the same color twice or 3 times, it will buff it even more. And based on that, it will depend how you're going to have the fights. So let's see what he's going to say.
Central venomous cavity in the center. When he reaches maximum energy, he will imbibe the nearest 2 of those fountains. These imbibes are going to trigger heavy raid damage from each fountain, and each stack that he gains from those fountains will increase.
Ooh. Dude, one wave of this literally almost got like 50-40%, 60 even percent of their HP. This is nuts.
The damage of future imbibes, while also increasing.
This will increase the damage of future imbibes. So the second time you do this, holy cow.
Future health of the adds spawning from the fountains. They'll try to travel into the middle of the room, and if they reach them, they'll deal a massive explosion and trigger a wipe. Most of these adds can be crowd controlled or stunned. There are some exceptions, with the clotting venoms having the sanguineous fortitude, which is going to protect them from crowd control effects, but other ones can be gripped on top of those to make it easier to kill. On heroic, you'll have to deal with a malignant catalyst, which is the orb of venom above the cavity in the center of the room that'll explode and deal extra damage and launch a catalytic bile. If it fails to hit at least one player, it will deal raid-wide damage. On PTR testing, we didn't really see this on its own, so keep an eye out for a soak when you get onto this on live. You'll also have multiple players getting marked by the Plague Froth, which is going to send out venomous waves from their location. Just make sure you're not sending these through melee and get out of the group. Tanks will have to deal with the Dripping Fangs, which is going to be inflicting very heavy physical damage and a 32-second dot of nature damage every 2 seconds. This is also going to increase the physical damage taken by 100%, so tanks will swap every time. For most of the adds, when you're killing them, they will deal different kinds of raid-wide damage, with the exception of those clotting venoms. The Shrouded Venoms will be putting out shadow void zones around the room, while the Burning Venoms are also going to cast a caustic surge when they die, while also radiating damage while they're alive. This caustic surge is going to put up a 4-second dot that can also stack with other adds. We were able to utilize things like banishment to be able to prevent some adds from dying as rapidly, to start spacing them out, but it seems like you'll just stack many healing cooldowns around these moments as well to be safe. Since imbibe casts are going to further amplify and damage based on having more of these fountains
These guys are also tanking in between the purple and the orange.
powered, they're a great time to use personals or AoE damage reduction tools, but the big areas that you want to have huge amounts of output for are usually going to be around when Caustic Surge, Burning Venom, the adds themselves are detonating, or when you have to deal with some of the adaptive infections. Now, these vary based on how you have empowered each of these fountains, but there are 3 main ones. The Siphoning Infection is going to go out onto a player, and this is much like the Hungering Destroyer, where you have to heal yourself when you're marked by this by leeching the health of other players. A very simple way to do this is the player with the Siphoning Infection.
All right, I'm going to pull this aside for now, folks, because I think the people are gathering. So I'm just going to jump on comms right now.
A new Balore Delana. How the protection. Nago soldier.
My magic is potent. Do not test me.
Sit down with me. Let me tell you a story from mine.
Let's go.
Raka, my friend. The Amani leader gives you leave.
Man, it's been so long since I've raided. Feels so nice, so weird at the same time. Why is this a healer alert? Hmm. All right, guys, here we go.
5,
First pull in my first raid
2, 1.
The first
in
coil
over 10
unwinds.
years.
The temple draws breath once more. Soul coilers! You remember the rhythm, don't you? You are still the coils. Let the rhythm turn.
We believe you, soul toiler.
I remember your screams, old ones. You didn't want to die for her, did you?
For the Lord. For the glory.
Ulatek brought the Almighty salvation. You sealed her away with your lives. Now I unseal you. Come now, you god dog. Bite the hand that buried you. Ooh, you feel the coil slither in? Come now, you god dogs! Rise, soul coilers! Still coiling tight together. You think you will face only one of me? I'll have you sealed double.
All right, so far so good.
They made me the last coil, the living seal round her prison. I suffer, I serve. Now Ulatek will rise again. Ulatek, Ulatek, Antale. Ulatek brought the Armani salvation. You sealed her away with your life. Now I unseal you. Ulatek brought the Armani salvation. You sealed her away with your life. Now I unseal you. Ulatek brought the Armani salvation. You sealed her away with your life. Now I unseal you.
Wow. Wait, that's actually good. I don't know. Do I need this? I don't know. Impressive, we actually did the first boss. First try, no wipes, nobody died. Holy cow. Oh, I did get an item even. Holy moly. All right. So that's technically just a min-max upgrade, what I just got.
Ulatek's influence here is overwhelming. Dark acts have stained this place.
The heart of the temple. This must be where the soul coilers perform their rituals. Ulatek's venom blocks our path. We'll have to find another way ahead.
I can sense the spirits of the soil coilers' victims on the ledges above. Perhaps we should investigate.
I have to say I do really like the... I really like the green and the stuff. It looks real cool.
Behold the combined power of Ulatek's venoms. Her breath will dissolve your flesh, or you will succumb to her power.
All right, guys. Second boss, first try.
2, 1.
The temple must be resealed.
Trespassers must die.
Wither with her poison.
Blood venom destroyed.
I was almost sure that we need to soak this, but apparently you do. And it wasn't called out by the raid leader.
Wither with her poison.
Blood venom rains. Blood venom rains.
Wither with her poison. Wither with her poison.
Blood venom rains. Blood venom rains.
Wither with her poison.
I need a two.
Wither with her poison.
My bro just went running away from me. I was chasing him. Oh shit. I don't know if I need that trinket. Reaching the haste. Not even up here in the trinket list. Nah. Agreed on that. Whoa, whoa! I'm in the fucking poison. Bro. Wait, how do you get back? Wait, when you die, how do you get back up? Like, how to find a...
destructive is her venom. Combined with other elements, I will create the most potent venom Azeroth has ever seen.
Which one is this one? Vashnik? right. This already feels like it's the most complicated out of the first 3 we did, so let's see how this goes. I reckon we're gonna wipe this one. Let's see.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It courses through you. Burn the skin. Slower than it courses through you. Dash of darkness. Tasty morsel. Dash of darkness. Tasty morsel. Crimson, viscous, delicious. It courses through you. Dash of darkness.
Do we soak the red thing?
It courses through you. Dash of darkness.
Easy. Is that the same trinket? Fang of Umbral. I don't even know.
The serpent's eye is no longer glowing. Whatever you did, do it again.
Whoa, whoa. I don't like this. Do we have a repair bot?
We've almost got it open. Push harder. Maybe we need some more help.
I actually might have something for repair, no? Thank you very much. All right. We are on a break. So this boss apparently is gonna be a pain in the butt. The Lost Explorers. Ooh. This would be an upgrade if I get... This would be an upgrade if I get it. This boss apparently drops a Abyss trinket. Hmm. Wait, which one is... Where do we get this trinket? I'm on my way.
It is about the journey, not the destination.
Ah, after thousands of years, I'm free. It's time to find myself a new suitable body.
Oh, the voices are back. Make them stop.
Let's see what this new body can do.
Are we gonna do the boss layer on heroic mythic difficulty at some point?
Portholans, reeking of fish and the sea. Sure,
The new boss layer 1 thing in the new zone. I did it on normal today. It doesn't seem super hard. Probably heroic is pretty much the same thing, I guess.
Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Coiled Altar fight in the Venomous Abyss on normal and heroic difficulty. This is a big fight with 3 phases and an intermission, so buckle up. In Phase 1, Axe Grinder chucks spinning axes, don't get lawn mowed. Venom Fang poisons a few players, cleanse it if you can, and heal through it if you can't. Venom orbs are going to spawn, and we need to gather them up. You can run into an orb to pick it up, and it'll drop back onto the ground 5 seconds later. Collect those up into a few little piles. Buckle up. In Phase 1, Axe Grinder chucks spinning axes, don't get lawn mowed. Venom Fang poisons a few players, cleanse it if you can, and heal through it if you can't. Venom orbs are going to spawn, and we need to gather them up. You can run into an orb to pick it up, and it'll drop back onto the ground 5 seconds later.
Oh, I remember this. I watched this earlier. So you gotta pick him up and move them closer to the boss,
Collect those
basically.
up into a few little piles. To clear them, we need our tanks. Zul'jin will aim the Sever Frontal Cone at his target, which stacks a debuff and destroys venoms. Our tank wants to move the boss around and clear orbs with that cone. This is much easier if the raid has done well at piling up orbs. Tank swap between cones. Guillotine is a group soak followed by a massive AoE. The target
Bro, she has such an annoying voice. I don't, is it just me or this? She just have a super annoying voice.
needs to place it on an edge, everyone gets in, and then everyone gets the heck out of there before the floor erupts. Group sprints like roars or lock gates are really nice here. Fangs of the Coiled Altar does raid damage and fills up the floor from these fountains on the side. Get to the middle where it's safe. When Zul'jin dies, we enter Phase 2. Any orb still up will explode, so make sure the floor is fairly clean before you push him. In Phase
What?
Phase 2. Any orb still up will explode, so everyone gets in.
What orb?
And then everyone gets the heck out of there before the floor erupts. Group sprints like roars or lock gates are really nice here. Fangs of the Coiled Altar does raid damage and fills up the floor from these fountains on the side. Get to the middle where it's safe. When Zul'jin dies, we enter Phase 2. Any orb still up will explode, so make sure the floor is fairly clean before
I'm blind. I don't see a single orb and they're just
you push
wiping.
him. In Phase 2, we fight Malacrass. Dread March will mind control players and make them march towards the edge. We need to DPS off their Absorb Shield to break their MC before they jump. When the MC is broken, a ghost will spawn that fixates players. They will walk towards you unless you face them, which stops them in their tracks. Fixate targets need to kite their ghosts together to a stack point and then face them to pause them in place. You cannot DPS these, so you're just stacking them up. Our tank has a frontal cone again, this one called Soul Sever. They want to aim that at the ghost pile to delete them. After the tank takes a cone, they spawn 3 soul fragments that they need to collect before they expire, and like before, we want to tank swap after every cone. Gloom Bomb marks a few players with AoEs, they need to run out of the group with that. After those go off, the targets will also need to collect their soul pieces, just like the tanks did. Failing to get your soul back in time will kill you, so pick them up before you head back in. At 100 energy, the boss gets a big absorb shield and starts casting a raid wipe. We need to DPS off the shield and kick the cast while doing plenty of raid healing and dodging stuff on the ground. When Malacrass dies, there is a knockback, so mind the edge. It's now intermission time.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Zul'Jin takes 100% increased damage, so blow.
This is gonna be a mess. This has shit ton mechanics. The previous one was already difficult. This is gonna be hard. Alright, let's go, folks. Wish us luck.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you can't stand against me? You don't like it? Then get out! No, not me too. You don't want me. Take this.
Is he gone? The voices are back. Make them stop.
Fish is up.
think I'm myself again.
I will still be free. I will
Wow.
still live again.
We actually did it. Boots. Not better than mine. I'm surprised. We pulled more.
feast must eat.
Who's that? Who's that bad boy? I don't think I have any Bissell here. No, not really. Maybe the ring would be a decent upgrade for me. All right, we are 4 out of 8, halfway. And it took us, what, an hour and something? So, we good. We good. We gaming.
If the wind tunnel is on orange, then you'll want to pull it on blue. You want to go and drop your green shit on blue. If the wind tunnel's on purple, you want to drop your green shit on moon. And then, as I said, if it's on yellow, then you're going to want to drop it on green. The reason why is because we'll get 3 gusts of wind that will blow us back. Raw can help, any movement speed buffs can help, but the idea of it is you will get pushed back into the green slimy stuff on the floor, and it will shove you forward from the blue. It will shove you back towards the orange, which will then save you from falling off the edge, and that will happen 3 times. So you've got to see where the wind spawned, and then go, right, so if I get targeted by the green, I've got to run to the opposite side of that particular colour. Right, everyone understood with that one? So the second mechanic is more wind. You will have blue circles around you, and a line will be pointing in a direction. You want to find another player with the wind pointing in that direction, and you basically want to touch tips. Because when it will go, you'll get blown into each other and hit the deck, basically, so you won't get blown off the edge of the side. There's a tank swapping mechanic. Mutilate is the ability.
Someone said yay.
And Ravage is the ability you don't want to stand in unless you want to die, or if you're a tank. If you have, we don't have a blood.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. We don't have a blood death knight. So the debuffs that you need to drop down are vicious cysts, and you have to look for the winds in the tunnels of which one it is, basically. And that's the fight, really. I don't think I've missed anything out. You've got your knockback buddies, you've got your green slime you got upon the floor. If there is a mechanic where there's venom puddles that get put on the floor, if they get put on the floor correctly, then the wind will blow them off. But they get blown off the platform anyway. Hopefully, yeah, that's about it, really. Any questions? No? Okay.
All right. We've been winging this boss, so this raid so far, so let's see.
Five, four, three.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Mambo number 5. Our first wife. Yay! All right, so what went wrong is we basically didn't put one of the green orbs to one of the sides, and that's why we kind of wiped. I still don't understand exactly how you can tell where exactly you need to put them, but
Five, four, three, two, one.
I'm going. I'm going square. So close. That was...
4, 3,
All right, here we go. Another attempt.
1.
Further away, further away. Maybe best way is to just call out who is going where, so people can know. This attempt is already going bad, what? I'm going diamond. Oh boy. What?
Five, four, three, two, one.
Great Moon. Ooh, all right.
Venom has stopped. The path to Ulatek is open.
Wait, the venom stopped, but the door is still closed.
Something happened. Get ready.
Wow. My little dwarf jumped and broke his knees on the stairs. Oh boy. Well, all right, we're gonna give it a couple more attempts and we're gonna call it for today. So we either do this boss in a couple attempts or we come back someday.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
don't like this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was it for today. We cleared what? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8. All right, let me stop the stream. Thanks for watching. See you on Sunday.